On this stage, I see Elizabeth's work starting the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and helping 29 million people. I see the Vice President's work in getting $2 billion for his cancer moonshot. I see Senator Sanders' work of working to get the veterans bill passed across the aisle. And I see what I've done, which is to negotiate 3 farm bills and be someone that actually had major provisions put in those bills. So while you can dismiss committee hearings, I think this experience works. And I have not denigrated your experience as a local official. I have been one. I just think you should respect our experience when you look at how you evaluate someone who can get things done.
Thank you, Senator. Mr. Mayor, I'll give you a chance to respond.
It's coming. Load it up.
You actually did denigrate my experience, Senator, and it was before the break, and I was going to let it go because we got bigger fish to fry here. But you implied
I don't think we have bigger fish to fry than picking a president of the United States.
Ooh, number one, very good.
And before the break, you seemed to imply that my relationship to the First Amendment was a talking point, as if anyone up here has any more or less commitment to the Constitution than anybody else up here. Let me tell you about my relationship to the First Amendment. It is part of the Constitution.
Wait, I have to stop here. First of all, Amy Klobuchar is, I'm not cursing, so I don't know how to say it. She's a bad bee, but I mean it in a positive way, okay? She's a badass, okay? She is like a hashtag girl boss, okay? Hashtag girl boss, but sometimes definitely in a bad way, and sometimes in a good way. I mean this. This is one of those instances where she is saying that in a good way. Okay, stop saying femdom, all right? That's not what that is. That's not what's going on here. Okay, maybe it's going on a little bit, but what I'm trying to say is that she runs with all of these dogs, basically. She runs with all the vultures. So after years and years of doing this, she has a hardened skin. Okay? That's what this is. So Pete Buttigieg, on the other hand, is an absolute sociopath. He is the Patrick Bateman of politics. And it's really interesting that I use those words to describe the situation because politics is run amok with sociopaths, and somehow Pageant Pete is worse than most of those guys. Okay? Amy Klobuchar here threw laser-guided Raytheon missiles at Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg, she is probably chewed up and spat out 14 Pete Buttigiegs in her career. Or on a daily basis every year, okay? 14 Pete Buttigiegs come to her office as staffers, and she destroys them. So this was a perfect back and forth. He's an overzealous young upstart, and she is the vulture wine mom that has been doing politics in the Midwest for a very long time. So it was the best clash that could have possibly happened.
Constitution that I raised my right hand and swore to defend with my life. That is my experience, and it may not be the same as yours, but it counts, Senator. It counts.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Senator Klobuchar, you have 45 seconds to respond.
I certainly respect your military experience. That's not what this is about. This is about choosing a president. And I know my view of this is I know you ran to be chair of the Democratic National Committee. That's not something that I wanted to do. I want to be president of the United States. And the point is, we should have someone heading up this ticket that has actually won and been able to show that they can gather the support that you talk about of moderate Republicans and independents, as well as a fired up Democratic base. And not just done it once, I have done it 3 times. I think winning matters. I think a track record of getting things done matters. And I also think showing our party that we can actually bring people with us, have a wider tent, have a bigger coalition, and yes, longer coattails, that matters.
Thank you, Senator.
I got to respond to that. Senator, I know that if you just go by vote totals, maybe what goes on in my city seems small to you. If you want to talk about the capacity to win, try putting together a coalition to bring you back to office with 80% of the vote as a gay dude in Mike Pence's Indiana.
Are they going to cut off her answer?
Again, I would, Mayor, if you had won in Indiana, that would be one thing. You tried and you lost by 20 points.
Oof. That is like, what? What is going on?
Who's making
That is just brutal, dude. You love to see it, folks. That was, listen, Tulsi Gabbard doesn't have the high enough IQ to be able to destroy Pete Buttigieg that way. Pete Buttigieg is one of the smartest dudes on that stage, without a doubt. But that's the difference between Amy Klobuchar and like a Tulsi Gabbard, or even a Kamala Harris, who isn't that good. So what he's talking about, what Amy Klobuchar is talking about here is his Pete Buttigieg's 2010 run for Indiana State Treasurer, where Pete Buttigieg lost that race to a Republican and earned just 37.5% of the vote. Lost by 20 points to a Republican in Indiana when he ran for state treasurer. That's what she was talking about. Like, it was just, oof. I mean, that was really good. That was like one of the best lines, and that was one of the best moments of the debate.
I know, but you know, who needs to make a mark? Who's sort of plateauing, or who needs to have a big night, Ryan?
Gosh, you could make a case for several candidates. I mean, obviously the candidate.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't think Amy Klobuchar is going to go anywhere with this, but are you coming around on Klobuchar at all? No, absolutely not. Amy Klobuchar is awful. Like, I don't dislike or like candidates because they're popular or unpopular or their electability. You guys need to understand something, okay? The reason why I like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren before the race even started, but definitely Bernie Sanders a lot more than Elizabeth Warren, is because I know their track record, is because I know what they represent, and it's because I know how they're going to fight for the things that they talk about. Now, when it comes to the how they're going to fight question, Bernie Sanders wins by the widest of margins. I don't care that he says the problem is capitalism and Elizabeth Warren doesn't. I don't care. I don't care about any of those things, okay? In the short term, Bernie Sanders actually has the right idea to fight back against entrenched power. That is absolutely something that we need more than anything else, okay? Bernie Sanders understands that we need to push back at every point to even implement modest social democratic reforms. And the people that still like Elizabeth Warren after seeing her transitional Medicare for All program, that isn't that much different than Kamala Harris's failure of a Medicare for All transition program. The people that still think Elizabeth Warren is great are either fooling themselves or they're unaware, or they just don't really care if Medicare for All doesn't get passed. Like, that's the reality. Okay? That's just, it is what it is. And I love Elizabeth Warren. I like her track record. I liked Elizabeth Warren in 2016 when Bernie Sanders liked Elizabeth Warren and wanted Elizabeth Warren to run against Hillary Clinton. So it is what